Hello, welcome to a very special edition of We Don't Talk About Uno. Today we're not even talking about Lorcana, the Disney trading card game. In the last episode, David talked a little bit about a deck he's brewing for Magic the Gathering, which has a Disney theme, and we thought we'd unpack it a little bit more. If you're into Magic the Gathering, have a listen. If you're not, I mean, you might be interested. It's got a Disney theme. So, David, do you want to introduce the deck to us?
Yeah, so this deck is a Commander deck, and Commander is a particular form of Magic the Gathering. It's one of the most popular ways to play, if not the most popular way to play. And in Commander you have a deck of 100 cards, and other than the lands, which are the resources you use to buy other cards, all the rest of the cards need to be unique. So there's about 60 or 70 different cards in the deck, and then some lands that are resources. And you have what's called a commander, who is your leader as you go into battle with your deck.
Brilliant. And who's the leader of your deck?
So when I'm building a deck, I like to find a card that clicks with me or makes me interested to build. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a really cool card. So I found a little flying elephant who's called, in Magic the Gathering, called Lulu Loyal Hollyphant, and she is the leader of the deck. And Lulu is a special type of commander who can have another commander working with her. And so the one that's working with her is called Cloakwood Hermit, who is it's not actually a creature, it's called an enchantment.
So Lulu, I'm assuming, flying elephant, Dumbo.
Yes, good. Yeah, so I should have said, I built this deck to have, or I'm building this deck. It's something I'm working on to have a Disney theme. And so, yeah, as soon as I saw Lulu, I was like, yeah, that's a flying elephant, Dumbo. And then Cloakwood Hermit is the background, and Cloakwood Hermit does something that I love to do in Commander, which is make squirrels, and Cloakwood Hermit lives in the woodland making squirrels and with the animals. So for me, that was Giselle from Enchanted, because Giselle at the start of the first movie, Enchanted, is living in the woodlands with lots of small cute animals. So those are the commanders of my deck, is Dumbo and Giselle, or Lulu Loyal Hollyphant and Cloakwood Hermit.
Okay, so I've got a bit of an issue with this deck because I played against it. It was fun to play against. You're still building it, so it was, a prototype. But Lulu's ability says, I'll read the card. It says, at the beginning of your end step, if a permanent you controlled left the battlefield this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on each tapped creature you control, and then untap them.
Yep.
Very powerful ability. Beautiful.
So that means basically tapped creatures are ones that have been into battle and they're kind of worn out. They're exhausted for people who don't play Magic.
But David...
And so Lulu, brings them back. They're like, you can have them again.
No. David, why on earth would a creature leave the battlefield?
Oh, so there's different reasons a creature would leave the battlefield.
The primary reason is because it would die.
Both cards, both Lulu and Cloakwood Hermit, synergize with creatures leaving the battlefield. Yes. And so this is something that, so I wanted to make a Disney-themed deck, and this is something I struggled with.
You thought, what's the most Disney thing? Creatures dying.
No, creatures dying for love of their friends.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes.
So
okay.
This deck is white and green, and white is the colour of goodness and justice and fairness, and green's the colour of life and growth and animals and woodlands and things like that. So normally the colour of things dying and death and destruction is black.
Okay.
And so if you play black, that's you can often have what's called a sacrifice theme. So you sacrifice other cards to do better in the game.
For the greater good,
If you get rid of some cards, you do better with other stuff. That said, with this deck, because they like things to leave the battlefield, there are two things you could do, or there are a few things you can do, but two of the things I could thought of you could do is, one, you can do what's called flicker, and that's when a card leaves the battlefield for a split second, then comes back.
Oh, I love that.
That would work with Lulu.
As a tactic, that's my favourite.
But it doesn't work with Cloakwood Hermit.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I was going to say, that's my favourite tactic. I absolutely love it when I target things on your side of the battlefield and you just flicker them in response, and there's nothing I can do about it. That's super fun.
They just disappear.
Super fun. Poof, I'm like, what happened there? They're back again. Oh, great. Amazing. Anyway.
At the moment, I don't have a flicker deck. Our friend John has a flicker deck. they're a lot of fun, but they're also a particular style of play that I'm still working out if I enjoy it. I think I do, but I'm not sure, so I don't have that deck. So one way that they could leave the battlefield is flicker, and another way they could leave is by dying, which is really sad, isn't it?
But they do get to do that for the greater good, for other people to succeed.
So what I didn't want to do is put things in this deck where your own creatures are killing each other. Does that seem really mean?
Okay.
Which is what black does.
Yeah.
You kill off your own stuff.
Yeah, your own stuff fighting.
So this creature,
yeah.
The I suppose the conceit of the deck, or the thing that a lot of the creatures that I've put in this deck do, is they sacrifice themselves for the good of their friends, as I said. So they support their friends. So there is a caterpillar called Caustic Caterpillar. So that, for me, that's like a character from Bug's Life. I know that's a Pixar movie rather than Disney.
Oh, I thought it was from Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, you see. So this is what's fun about this, is you can, and fun about magic in general, is you can project onto it what you want to, right? Yeah. So it could be from Alice in Wonderland too, right? And what this caterpillar does is it sneaks behind enemy lines and then takes out one of their most valuable things. But in doing so, it's lost its life. It's given its life up for its friends. Does that make sense?
Yes. No, that does make sense. Talk us through some of the other creatures.
So literally what it says on the card is if you sacrifice Caustic Caterpillar, so it's doing the self-sacrifice thing, you can destroy an artifact or an enchantment that somebody else, or that you control. Why would you destroy your own? You destroy somebody else's thing that's doing lots of good things for them to help you get ahead in the game.
Okay.
So that's the caterpillar. And a lot of the creatures in this deck, most of them do that thing where they sacrifice themselves. And what that does then is it does the cool thing that it does when it sacrifices. So like the caterpillar takes something out, but it also activates Lulu and the Cloakwood Hermit. So you get squirrels and Lulu if something's been attacking, or the squirrels come in tapped as well. So that's one of the disadvantages of Cloakwood Hermit, is the squirrels enter the battlefield tapped. But Lulu likes things to be tapped because then she makes them more powerful and she untaps them so they are ready for battle again. So it's like it's a really nice synergy.
Okay. Right. So let's go through some of the cards and you can tell me what Disney characters there are. There are some, or shall I guess? Which would you rather do?
What I'd like to do is build two versions of this deck. And one is like where I really lean into the Disney theme really hard.
Okay.
And one is where I build it at a power level. Because the Disney theme would be fun, but it wouldn't be the most powerful because I'm focusing on the theme rather than what works well together. Does that make sense?
I mean, David,
I think it would still work and be fun.
You never seem to have trouble winning games. You're never like, oh no, if only I could win some more of these games.
Yeah, so maybe I'll just go with the Disney theme because I do need like a lower powered deck that I'm not just out and out trying to win.
Amazing.
So what was I saying? So a powerful one and then a Disney one, but you're right. Maybe I'll just go for the Disney one. At the minute, this is somewhere in the middle. So I've kind of gone for either the best or the worst of both worlds. So if you're looking at the deck, Simeon, I'd recommend you also open the Considering cards because there's lots of fun ones in there too.
There's a Considering thing. I'm looking at the deck on Moxfield.
Oh yeah, so anyone can look at the deck, and I think you've said already, Simeon, that we'll put a link to the deck in the episode description for anyone who wants to dig deeper into it. So let me try one that. Okay, so this Disney universe, not really a Disney film. I'll give you that clue, and I might give you a stronger clue if you're not getting there.
Okay.
Diligent Farmhand.
Diligent Farmhand. Is this going on the artwork? So is that right?
No, it's going on the well, kind of the artwork, but mainly the name of the card.
Diligent Farmhand. What?
Disney wider universe. You watch it on Disney Plus, but it's not a Disney movie.
Is this Luke Skywalker?
Yes.
Amazing. Brilliant. Okay. Amazing. Okay. Yeah, with his moisture farming.
Okay, let's go down a bit more. So, Mere Scrappling. So this is like a little robot character.
Yeah, the Mere Scrappling has got to be, I mean, it even looks a little bit like Wall-E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got that one.
Amazing.
And then there's two cards that go together. And so there's, where are my two cards that go together? Okay, Selfless. They're actually next to each other in the deck, which is perfect. They're like in alphabetical order, they're next to each other.
Okay.
So there's Resolute Watchdog and Selfless Savior, and they're two dog cards.
So Selfless Savior sacrifices it to make another thing indestructible. Resolute Watchdog. Oh, does exactly the same thing.
Yeah, it's kind of the ability more. So the ability is thematic for Resolute Watchdog. It's not so much. It's a little bit for Selfless Savior actually, that they sacrifice themselves to save another thing.
I mean, is this?
But it's more the dog. It's more that they're dogs.
Is this Lady and the Tramp?
Lady and the Tramp, yeah. So Resolute Watchdog looks like Tramp, a bit like Tramp, and Selfless Savior has the big flappy ears. Like
yes,
Lady.
Selfless Savior looks a lot like that kind of. I don't even know what that breed of dog is called. Yes, Spaniel. Yes, I should know that. My mother-in-law has a Spaniel. Anyway, okay. Who's so? I'm looking through some other cards, and there are some cards I can't work out. You've got Spore.
There will be because they're not all Disney.
No, you've got to make them up on the spot. If not, come on, a Spore Frog.
Oh, okay. Or Spore Frog.
Spore Frog's one of my favourite.
Is there a frog in the Bug's Life? It looks like something out of the Bug's Life. It's pretty cute. What were you thinking?
Not a bug. I don't know. It's one of my favourite cards. So I thought, I wonder what that is.
It's a really good card.
It is a really good card.
It's a nice card.
I don't know if it's good. I don't know how good it is, quote unquote good, as in how many games you're going to win with it. But it's a good kind of it's an annoying card to play against, which means it's fun.
Yeah.
The one I really liked, I'm
going to give you one that is again thematic for the movie, but a little bit dark as well. But anyway, Dawn Treader Elk.
Oh, that's the one I was just going to say. Yeah, Dawn Treader Elk has got to be Bambi's mum, isn't it?
Yes, it does. It
amazing.
Itself.
Yes, sacrifices itself to further the life. Amazing. Okay, I've got a couple of questions on tactics on the deck. The current lands, which is the resource system in Magic the Gathering, you've just got basic lands. Is there a reason for that?
Because it's cheaper.
Oh, okay. Oh, no. Okay, so this is fine.
So there's a few. So you can get what are called tap lands. So this deck needs white resources. It's a white and green deck. So it needs white resources which come from plains, and it needs green resources which come from forests.
Yeah.
And so at the minute, as you said, if you look at the deck, I've got half forest and half plains.
Yeah.
And when I turned up to play it with you, that's what I had in the deck.
Oh, okay.
Like, no, David. Take some of these lands, which they're called tap lands or dual lands or something like that, and they enter the battlefield tapped, so they're not as useful right away, but what is really useful about them is they can be either colour. So if you're early on in the game and you've drawn 3 lands and they're all forests, that's not very useful if you need to cast some white cards from your hand. You need some plains. Whereas if you've drawn 2 forests and a tap land, then you've got access to white. So it increases the chances that in the early game especially, you're able to cast your spells.
Yes, yeah.
So that's why tap lands are useful.
Okay.
But there's a school of thought in Magic the Gathering that a basic land, so that's a land that's only one type of land, is almost always better than a tap land because it doesn't enter tapped. So you're not then waiting a turn to use it. You can use it right away, which, again, this is looking at early game, especially early game, that's really powerful. And especially with a deck that has what's called a low mana curve, that's useful as well. So this deck has a lot of creatures that only cost 1 resource to cast. And that's quite unusual.
The average mana value...
It's becoming more usual, but it's not in Commander. If you buy a pre-constructed deck that has been built for you, that you won't find that there's lots of cheap creatures that cost 1 mana in there.
The average mana value with lands is 1.5 mana, which is
that's low, isn't it? That's low because you're aiming for, at least my philosophy at the moment is you aim for under 3.
Even my elf ball deck is, which is all a load of small little elves, is higher than that. That's incredibly low. I guess the only thing is then, what's the top end? How do you win with this deck?
So I've played it twice. I played it against you, and I lost quite significantly.
That's just because I'm amazing.
And then I played
strategist.
It again in a 3-player game, and it won. It snuck out a win at the end, and the way it wins is just power, really, because what happens is Lulu creates a whole load of squirrels and makes them really big, scary squirrels.
Yeah.
So by the time you've got like 10 squirrels out that can have up to 5 or 6 power each on some of them, if you can... Okay, so the card that I used to win, it didn't win me the game, but it got me much closer. I'm not sure it's on here. It's probably in the considering because I'm waiting for some cards to arrive in the post, but I'll leave it in the deck now because it won me the game. Oh, it's a sorcery. Oh, it's not even in here. It's the sorcery, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. and it gives all creatures +3/+3, so it makes them all powerful, and it gives all your creatures trample, which means even if they're blocked, they'll deal damage. They're more likely to deal damage to the defending player.
Oh, okay.
It's called Overrun. That's what it is. So I need to put
it's in green. Sorry. I was like, in white? I don't know that. Overrun. Yeah, there's quite a few effects of that. In white as well.
I should have said that. It's a very typical green card.
Yeah. In white as well. So we played with our Magic group, we played a little a game, a kind of special Christmas thing where we all built decks from scratch with cards that we opened. That's called a draft for people who don't play trading card games. We played that a couple of weeks ago, and somebody pulled off a Chroma's Will, I think it's called. I'm searching for it. Yes, a Chroma's Will, which is kind of like a white overrun that's incredibly good. Choose one if you control a commander. You may choose both. Creatures you control gain flying, vigilance, and double strike, but for you, because your commander's so cheap, probably creatures you control gain lifelink, indestructible, and protection from all colours. It's only 4 mana.
Wow.
You should pop that in.
And is that an instant or a sorcery?
Chroma's Will is an instant. Of course it's an instant. It's white and it's been printed in the last couple of years. It's totally overpowered. That would be... That's my...
But how much does it cost to buy?
That's my edition. I mean, you can just print it out with a photocopier, can't you? A Chroma's Will, Card Trader have it for £4. That seems cheap.
Okay, so it's a higher price card, but not a really... So Magic the Gathering cards can go up to like £50 or £100, but yeah, generally I've kept this deck lower priced, but it's about what I call a budget deck. So it costs $35 to build, it says at the bottom at the moment. When I got into Magic the Gathering, I thought that sounded really expensive to me, and I want to acknowledge that is pretty expensive. That's like the cost of a typical board game or a lower price board game to build.
You're right.
What's called a budget deck. So budget in Magic, generally people say under $100 is budget to build a deck. So it's an expensive hobby if you actually buy all the cards for all the decks.
Well, you say that, but also you can have a lot of fun just buying a precon, as in buying a deck that's been put together.
Yeah, you can buy a pre-made deck for
I mean,
as little as $20.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah,
and then you're good to go. Yeah, that's true. It's really true.
Right.
Yeah. My issue is that I love building decks, and then that does get expensive if you buy the cards. So I tend to build quite a lot of decks that I never even see the light of day at the minute because
you don't need to buy.
They don't see play because I just enjoy building them and I enjoy coming up with concepts.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Do you want any more? Shall I give you a couple more to guess?
Give me a couple more to guess. Yeah.
Maybe there's some more tenuous links. Maybe Scurry Oak.
Scurry Oak is a big tree covered in squirrels. Is there?
Ignore the squirrels and focus on the big tree bit.
There's a big tree in a Disney movie.
On an island. Lost Boys.
Oh, okay. Amazing. Great. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's like their home.
Yes. I was trying to think of something. Yeah. Totally on the wrong path then. What's the I saw it here and I couldn't remember which one it was. This one I do. The Dauntless Escort, who is a rhino soldier. Looks
so that
so
for
much.
me that reminded me like Robin Hood.
Yeah.
I don't know if that
was
what
literally it
like
looks
a soldier from Robin Hood.
It looks like someone's doing like it looks like that it's a card based on that. It's incredible. It's crazy. Like just the way it's standing, the stance, the whole thing it's a Robin Hood rhino soldier only on a Magic the Gathering card. I love it.
So we'll go another Robin Hood. You can look at Sakura Tribe Elder. I'm sure you know that card sim.
Steve, yes, I love Steve. I to be honest, I don't know the movie that well though. Is there a snake person?
There's a snake in there. Oh, okay, called Hiss. That's the advisor to the king.
Oh, that's the same one that's the one that they repeated the animation frames for the Jungle Book with Car, right?
There's so much.
So much of that
Robin Hood and Jungle Book. It's like,
yeah.
We just kind of copied some of the characters. I shouldn't say that, should I? There's lots of inspiration going on between the two movies.
Brilliant, amazing. Well, that's super.
So if
fun.
you're going to considering, and I'm going to give you one more.
I don't know if I can see considering.
You can't see.
Oh no, I can. Sorry, it's at the bottom. It's at the bottom, people. If you need to see that. Oh my goodness, you're considering another 91 cards for your 100-card deck.
This is how you build a deck, Simeon. You get 200 cards in your considering, and then you pop them up. up to the main deck. Kazali Pride Mage with a Q.
Oh, right.
Sorry, I should have said.
I'm like, what? What is this thing? Still can't find it. Oh, Kazali Pride Mage. Oh, that's got to be, I don't even know what the guy's called. Simba's dad.
Yeah, Mufasa.
Mufasa.
Or maybe it could be Simba in... So the Lion Guard is the, kids series that's a spin-off of The Lion King.
Oh, and
so in that, Simba's like the...
Old Man Lion.
The wise one.
Yeah, Old Man Lion. Brilliant. Quick quote. Sorry, question while we're here. You've got Benny Brax, the zoologist.
Yeah, it's cost like $10. I'd love it, but it's just a fun card. Well, who do you think it is?
Oh, my question...
Is that even a Disney movie?
My question was, do you have a copy and can I trade you for it?
Oh, no.
Oh, damn, David.
And if I did, no, you can't trade me for it.
Amazing. All right, brilliant. Shall we leave it there? That was really fun to look through one of your decks. I'm looking forward to when we've got some Lorcana decks to do this, looking through the different deck brews that we've come up with. That will be a fun episode.
Yeah, that was really fun. Thanks, Simeon.
All right, cheers, David.